Hey y'all, it's Linda. Welcome to week 6 at my quirky quarter acre, which is pretty soggy right now. It's Sunday, February 9th, and I'm just going to give you all a quick update on the seedlings in the greenhouse. I have cabbage, cress, onions, endive. The Swiss chard is making progress. Those are some of the ones I repotted a few days ago. These are the basil cuttings I took off the plant that I brought in for the winter. Look at my baby apple tree. I love that thing. Over here I have cabbage, spinach, and kohlrabi planted, and also oregano, which is the only thing that's come up, and those sprouts are leaning, so I've turned the tray around. It should get back above freezing tomorrow for a few days, so these onions are going to go outside, and probably in 3 weeks or so they're going to go outside for good and be put into the bed. I just started a very small tray of microgreens. This is actually a mushroom container from the grocery store that I am reusing rather. The lettuce, the cinnamon basil is growing nicely. The repotted Brussels sprouts, and they will go out in about 3 weeks. And here's the lettuce. This is buttercrunch lettuce. Here are the chives, celery, celeriac, and this tray of celery is not sprouting yet. These are the poppy seeds from the grocery store that were 5 or 6 years old that I planted just to see what would happen, and those are what came up in the first go-round. I may just toss the rest of them outside. More lettuce. I have a few pepper sprouts. These were planted 8 days ago. Most of the sprouts are really too small to see on the camera, but they are there. So we're off and running with peppers. This morning's project was to plant some beets. I have 2 varieties. I have the old standard Detroit dark red, which are really good, and then I also have Merlin beets, which I bought just because my cat's name is Merlin, but Hoss Tools gave this a recommendation, so I'm going to try these and see how they go. I've got 3 or 4 seeds in each one, and then I will transplant them out to the garden. Those are the Brussels sprouts that were reseeded in the trays where the onions did not come up, and they don't look so hot, so I may just let those go. I'm not sure. Microgreens are about ready to harvest. Here's one of those crazy gourds. It's either an apple gourd or a snake gourd, and I am not sure which. Here's another one. Look at the little curlies. Gourd plants are amazing to me. I also want to show you what I used for planting the beets. This is actually just a regular straight knitting needle, and I do knit quite a bit, but I don't really use straight needles anymore. I use the circular needles just because I find them easier, and also I don't put my work down and lose the needle. So I took this end, the sharp end, and used it to poke the holes, and then I laid the seeds over top of the holes, and then I used this end to kind of tamp them down in there before I sprinkled the soil on top. Here are the rest of the gourd plants. I still have 10, and as I said, these are either snake or apple gourds. I'm not sure which, but I know that I was testing the seeds in that carton for those. So we'll see what they turn into. If they hang on until after the frost, which is still a few weeks away, we'll see. So as you can see, my little greenhouse is full of life. and I couldn't be happier. I also want to give you an update on these pepper plants. I know when I showed them the other day they were looking pretty raggedy, but I did prune off all of the brown and the dead, and this one is coming back out really nicely. So I'm going to put this back in the garden when it's warm enough, probably in a container, just to see how it does. Oh, and this is the bell pepper. This is the chili pepper, and I want y'all to see. I pruned off all the dead bits, and not only did it just pop out and go crazy, it's got 5 blooms on it. And it's got another one somewhere, a bud, ready to come out. So I'm just shaking those to see if they'll pollinate and make a pepper. And in case you're wondering why those foam plates are on top of there, it is to keep the cats, well, more specifically the youngest cat, out of the dirt. And you can see she's walked on it. She's tried, but these work fairly well as a deterrent, and it also helps keep some of the moisture in. Also, just a quick update on the sweet potatoes. They're growing. And some of those are getting roots, so they can go into the soil pretty soon. In a pot, of course, because it's too cold for them yet outside. It's pouring rain again today. So I went down and emptied the compost, checked on the growing things. Turnips are getting to be a fair size, about the size of my thumb. But there won't be much going on outside today. It's Wednesday, February 12th. Making a new batch of ginger ale. Still cats all over the place, huh, Tiff? This pot with the begonia and the coleus, I kind of forgot about it, and it was all leaning toward the light, so I've turned it around so it can lean back the other way. Things in the greenhouse are looking pretty good. Here's the chard, and I think if I do start this indoors next time, I will not do it quite so early. I realize I just got too impatient with it. More gourd seeds, you guys. I don't know where those came from. Cabbage sprouts. There's the oregano, some spinach. This lettuce is looking much better since it's been divided and put into individual cells, and I'm pretty excited about that. We haven't been eating lettuce for a long time, so we just don't like to buy it, and so we use spinach mainly as the base of a salad, but I do like lettuce, so I'm going to see how this does. It's got good-sized leaves. A new tray of microgreens I planted 3 days ago. All these onions and leeks. I repotted these leeks because they were getting yellow, so I wanted fewer in each compartment, so I took 1/6 cell compartment and divided it into 3. I don't know about this celery. Celeriac is nice and green. This celery looks good. Chamomile, still tiny. Put my finger here for reference. You can see how tiny that sprout is. English thyme. Chives. I didn't plant quite as many chive seeds as I did the onions because the chives are also going to go in a container because they have a tendency to spread. Here's my pepper tray. I know peppers can take a while to germinate, but I do have a few in there. There's one. That's the pepper my neighbor gave me. There's more of those. I was really impressed with the germination rate on those seeds. And there's one more. These are the chili pepper seeds that I saved from the plant that I have in the house right now. This is the beet tray, which were planted 3 days ago on the 9th, 4 days ago on the 9th. And there is one there. There's a bunch in there. And here's the tray of microgreens. I did a taste test. Strong and definitely cabbage. It was really good. I am going to plant some more things this weekend, and I finally finished my seed organization video, so you can look for that next. I'll put that out later today. And in the meantime, I wish us all well. May favor find us all, and blessings. Thanks for watching.